a Real Madrid player, and that is Brahim Diaz. Now, there's been a rumor that Arsenal are coming in, or they are interested in bidding for Brahim Diaz, 60 million. That's how much they're willing to pay. Now, I'm not sure if I'm Madrid, I'd want to sell him. And I also don't believe Brahim Diaz would want to leave, at least not right now. He's a guy who's a squad player. And I think this season, he's looked really good, especially when Jude's been out or when he gets subbed on or whenever he gets a chance to start. This guy makes the most of the minutes that he is given. And I believe you do need players like him that can come off the bench, be an impact sub, or that can start games and also make an impact as well. Now, I think as long as Brahim Diaz is willing to accept that he's not going to be a mainstay in Madrid starting 11, I would keep him here. But if he's the kind of guy that does want to start, and I think all players should want to start games, but realistically, Brahim has to know that there's no place in him, well, for him with Real Madrid starting 11. I think as a squad player, yes, I'd love him here, but I don't really see him ever being a mainstay unless there's an injury or we do end up selling somebody else. Now, as I said earlier, he has taken his opportunities this season. He's been balling out. And he's the reason why I believe Arda Güler is not getting more playtime. Because next up in the pecking order is Brahim Diaz. And him and Arda are very similar in terms of positionally. So if you have to play one of them, let's be honest, just based off the merit, based off of who's performed better so far this season, it's Brahim. But if Arsenal want to buy him, I think 60 million is fair for him. I think that is a fair price. Maybe you could say, no, we want more. I don't know how much Arsenal would want to go up. I don't think they'd be willing to pay 80 or 90 million. I think at most you could possibly get 70. And I think that'd be good business. You know, we signed him a few seasons ago. He did 2 seasons on loan at AC Milan, played really well there, and he was able to work his way back into the Madrid plan. And this season, I think that he's been a key player for us. But I'm just not sure what his ambitions are. Does he want to go somewhere and start? Because I think that he could start for Arsenal. He is that good. Or is he going to be okay with being just a squad player at Madrid? I think that's the real question. But I don't think he's going to leave this summer. He just broke into our team. He's been playing really well. I think that he'll want to at least spend a few more seasons here before he does leave. And we know that he was Spanish, or he is Spanish, but technically now he's a Moroccan player because he switched his nationality over to them. So, you know, maybe he's like, why not leave? I'm not even Spanish like that for real. I play for the Moroccan national team, so maybe I could just leave and go play for Arsenal, be a mainstay. But if I'm him, I'd stay at Madrid, at least for next season. There's no way that he's going to leave already after having such a big impact on the side. So, see is saying, now this boys, he is our best right winger. I don't agree with that. He's not better than Rodrigo. No. I don't have any faith with Rodrigo. Right, look, see, bro, we're going to always argue about this, and that's okay. You know, like, Rodrigo to me is better than Brahim. But I understand with the impact that Brahim has been making off the bench. But then it's like, what are you making that argument off of? Because Rodrigo has more GA. I believe that Rodrigo is a better individual player. I think they're very similar in terms of skill set. But for me, my preference would be Rodrigo, man. But I do agree that Brahim does deserve to start more games, for sure. I'm not going to sit here and say that he deserves to only come off the bench. Because as I said, whenever he's been given a chance, he grabs it by, you know, both hands and he runs with it. He doesn't look back. But I don't think he's going nowhere, though. Point is, and if Arsenal do want him, let's up that price to about maybe 68 million. And I think that Madrid would do it. I think they would. And then I think Arda could come in and take those minutes that will be available if Brahim does end up leaving. Sell Rodrigo, not him. I love Rodrigo too, but right wing is not for him. Okay, you'll see. You'll see next season. Watch when we go back to that 4-3-3. Once we get a striker in and Rodrigo is back on that right wing in width, and I know that naturally he's a left winger, but you're not getting over Vinny, so you got to make the right wing your spot. I'm telling you, Rodrigo. And I think Rodrigo also, I know people love GA. Rodrigo's our third in GA. He has 21 goals and assists. So he's been good for us this season. He's just in a little dry spell right now. Definitely would not sell him, but Brahim Diaz is a good player. I think he'd go to Arsenal and he would start, right? I think he'd be able to start on that left wing. I know that they have Saka on the right, so I know people are not going to want to say, oh, well, Brahim Diaz can start over Saka, but I think he has just as much skill as Saka does. But to me, where he can get in is midfield. But Arsenal do have a strong squad, but I just think he has an easier chance of starting for them versus us.